Hey, welcome to day number 151. It's day 151, our Route 66 journey through the Bible. Today's reading, 6 chapters. In 2 days, we'll have read through the entire book of Esther. It's a great book. In fact, it's one of those books that I just encourage people to read it through in one sitting. It doesn't take too long, 10 chapters. But today, I just want to give a quick overview of chapter 5 through 10. Leading up to this, Esther has become the queen. She's a Jew. Haman hates the Jews, has an edict to kill all the Jews. Esther needs to go in front of the king and see what she can do, but she's afraid that it's going to cost her her life. So in Esther chapter 5, she has a bold approach. She approaches the king without being summoned, risking her life, and instead of making her request immediately to spare her people, the Jews, she invites the king and Haman to a couple of banquets. One banquet, nothing happens. Then the second banquet, eventually. Chapter 6, the king has a sleepless night, and he reads the royal records and discovers that Mordecai once saved his life, and ironically, he hadn't been rewarded. So Haman comes in to get the king to kill Mordecai, and it ends up the king wants to know, how should I honor somebody? Haman thinks he's talking about him, and so he gives him this lavish answer, parading through the city, and so Haman has to parade Mordecai around the city. Chapter 7 is Haman's fall. This second banquet, Esther reveals Haman is the man who plotted to kill her people, the Jews. The king is angry and orders Haman to be executed on the very gallows that he built for Mordecai. Chapter 8, the Jews are saved. Esther is given Haman's estate. Mordecai is promoted, and the king can't change the original decree to have the Jews killed, but he has a new decree which allows the Jews to defend themselves. So it's a fair fight. Chapter 9, the Jews defeat the enemies across the empire, and Mordecai establishes a feast called Purim. Pur was the casting of the lots to commemorate their deliverance. And in chapter 10, Mordecai rises. He becomes second in command to the king, actually taking Mordecai's spot. Not Mordecai, that's Mordecai, taking Haman's spot. And he's honored throughout the land for his leadership and his influence. So you do have a small chapter here that you're going to read. It's not 6 chapters, but they're not all long. It's a great story. So here's 3 lessons in this latter part. Chapter 1 through 4, setting up the scene and putting in the drama. Chapter 5 through 10, it all turns out okay. Number 1, God works behind the scenes. Even though God isn't mentioned, his name is not mentioned in the entire book of Esther. You can see his hand throughout it. It's called providence, God seeing things beforehand. From the king's insomnia to Esther's timing to the banquets, God is always working even when he seems silent. Another lesson that we can learn, courage opens the door to deliverance. Esther was willing to speak up, even at great personal risk. That was the turning point. Her courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but it is faith in action overcoming fear. And so sometimes God will do amazing things if we will just put ourselves in the place where we need to be. Courage opens the door. And number 3, pride leads to a fall, but humility is honored. Haman was proud, and it destroyed him. Mordecai was humble, and God lifted him up. God opposes the proud, gives grace to the humble. James 4:6 tells us that. So there's some good lessons that you can learn from Esther, from Mordecai, and even from Haman about what humility does, about what pride does, and about what courage does. So God bless you in whatever it is you have to deal with today. And as you read these lessons, read these chapters.